Howdy team. In this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about my 3 biggest mistakes when building my business and scaling my business, because I don't want you to make them same mistakes, because they'll lead you to huge problems. They could cause you to lose money. They slow down your opportunity and chances to get results. So the first thing is missed marketing opportunities, massive, huge mistakes and errors that I made with marketing. The second is business partner, putting people in the right seats. Right people, right seats is a vital step to scaling and growth. And the third is you, learning and development, something I didn't do for a very long time. So let's do a deeper dive into each of these ones so you can understand why they're important, where I went wrong, so you don't make the same mistakes too. So number one, the missed marketing opportunities, the mistakes that I made with marketing. Well, first things first, I didn't do any marketing in my first 10 years of business. I relied on buying leads. Now, when it comes to understanding marketing, it's now an umbrella term. There's loads of different opportunities underneath marketing that you need to pay attention to. And I see so many of you going wrong in how you look at marketing. Social media has brought around a new type, a creator, someone who actually goes out and physically creates content on a consistent basis. You know, this episode is a form of creation. Where marketing then kicks in is the ability to be able to take this episode, repurpose it into multiple different pieces of content. 20% goes into the creation, 80% goes into the marketing. You know, as a creator, you create books, you create videos, you create TikToks and Reels, you create podcasts. As a marketer, you understand how to get more eyes to see that. You understand how to automate the process so that it actually happens without you. And when you're building your business, you need multiple streams of leads. In my first 10 years, I didn't have multiple streams of leads, and it caused me stress because when it died, there's nothing else you can potentially do. So you need to bring in different strands, different strings to your bow. If you're starting out, referrals and recommendations will only get you so far. You need to have social media. You need to have blogs. You need to have videos. You need to have referrals and recommendations. You need to have an affiliate scheme. You need to have various different channels. You want to have a personal brand if you really want the fast track to getting more leads. Now, my journey of learning about lead generation and also learning about marketing is there are 5 steps now to marketing, to taking you from creator into marketer. And it's about understanding how you can generate better quality leads, how you can attract the right type of customers and clients into your business. And it's broken down by these further 5 steps. So step number 1 is about building your audience, building know, like, and trust with people that are out there wanting your product or service, going through the mistakes and the problems that you are making, you know, that you've maybe made or that they're making, and you become the solution. That's about building an audience. So step number 1, you build an audience. The second thing you must have is assets. Now, the asset could be a video, it could be blogs, it could be your podcast. They're the main 3. But you can also have a book. You can also have PDFs, quizzes, things that actually make your customer, your audience, move from being an audience into being a fan and a follower. Now, the third one is leads, and you convert your audience into leads by utilizing assets. The big thing is, for me, when I started self-employed in 2006, a lead used to be someone that I would actually speak to. Social media in the online world, the digital era, has completely changed that game. A lead is not someone who that I will necessarily speak to. That's an appointment. That appointment is a step further down the process. What you need to do is, in converting someone into a lead, that is somebody who is one step closer. Maybe they're inside your Facebook group. Maybe you've ideally captured their email address or their phone number. Because once you've got that, they're one step closer. They're no longer an audience member. They're more of a fan. They're a prospect. They're a lead. Now what you have to have is some form of automation. Your lead, who's given you their name and a number, is still building a relationship with you on social media, being an audience fan or follower. But you need to have automation set up that can either drive them to your product or service, that can help them to overcome mistakes, that can educate them one step better, that gives them your email address. The automation is what works on the back end. It could also be an element of retargeting and Facebook ads to retarget people. It could be utilizing YouTube and Google ads to retarget them. So now they've downloaded something from you. Now they've given you the email address. Perhaps they've attended a free workshop or webinar that you've run. You have automation that takes them through another process, which then converts them into the appointment. The appointment then is a sales opportunity. Now, there is a chance, depending on your product or service or your cost, of that product or service, that you don't need the appointment stage. If you're selling online programs or online courses, you can skip the appointment and go straight to a customer via online sales on your webinar or workshop. But if you're selling a $5,000 or $10,000 program, most people will want to speak to you in selling that. So you have to have, after automation, you have to have some kind of appointment sales conversation, which then gives you the opportunity to convert into customers. So that's the full process: audience, assets, leads, automation, appointment, then leads to customers. If you have that process in place and you have everything set up and working, that is going to help you to build and scale your business with ease and simplicity. And I knew none of this stuff back in 2016. It's all stuff that I've learned, developed, improved, and now spend my time teaching others how to do. Because I believe the foundational principle of building a business and making sure that you build it effectively and efficiently, you attract the right type of customers that you really love to work with, is all down to marketing. So the second thing is about the business partner, or putting people in the right seats within the business. Recruitment. More often than not, when you're scaling and growing your team, as an owner, you have an issue potentially around delegation. I know I did in my first few years, but that was one of the things I did. Was I would recruit somebody based on their perhaps skill set rather than their mindset. It's an aptitude versus attitude. And actually, it can be easier to train somebody to do the job that you need them to do. Half the battle is actually their belief, their mindset, their attitude. Now, the key thing when you're bringing someone in is having clear guidelines, is having a clear idea of what the job description is, the role that you want them to fulfill. Now, back in 2009, my best mate and I used to go to the gym together. We used to hang out together, and I let him buy into my business. And what we didn't do when it comes to having a business partner, or even as you begin to scale and grow, I've got operations manager, I've got sales manager, I've got admin managers. And one of the most important things when you're going through that process is being really clear on what the KPIs are, what the expectations are, what their key result areas are, what their income generating or money making tasks are to be on a day-to-day basis. Without KPIs, you can't measure and manage. So when my best mate bought into my business, we didn't sit down and clearly put a line in the sand, say, these are my superpowers, these are your superpowers. But we both love doing this job, and then decide who's going to actually do it. Much like any relationship, much like any partnership, there has to be give and take. And you have to make sure that you have that clear line and trust and communication to make sure that you're both working in your sweet spot. That's really important when letting somebody buy in to your business, making sure that you have that line in the sand. But also, if you're starting out in business with somebody, make sure that you sit down and say roles and responsibilities. These are mine. These are yours. We'll have a team meeting every week to go through how we're developing in those areas. And then when it comes to recruiting people onto your team, it's really important that you understand the importance of getting people better than you. I really, really feared that in my early years. I didn't want anyone older than me, let alone better than me. But actually, and this was an analogy I heard from someone else, at school, we're taught getting the cleverest kid in the class, do your homework, is a bad thing. No, you shouldn't do that. You get told off. That's cheating. Whereas actually, when you become an adult and you become a business owner and potentially an entrepreneur, that is entrepreneurship. That is becoming a leader. making sure that you have the right people in the right seats and recruiting people better than you in the specific areas of marketing, administration, management, leadership, sales, HR. You find people are better at doing the job than you are. And that's what builds a really great culture. And that's what builds a really great business. The mistake that I made was I didn't do any learning or development. My first 10 years, I was very fortunate. My father's been self-employed for as long as I can remember. And I say self-employed, he's been a business owner. His business has done more than £10 million a year. So I was able to get so many insights from him in terms of, making sure that I understood how to manage the numbers, how to have a separate business bank account, for example. I see so many clients that I work with who utilize just their own personal account to track their sales and their metrics and their numbers. There's all these little things that when you're first starting out, you need someone who can mentor you and give you the answers and help you to have that fast track to success. What I didn't do was have any other form of coaches and mentors. I didn't attend any courses or any trainings. I didn't learn marketing. I didn't learn business. I didn't learn an element of accountancy. Now, as a business owner, you don't become an expert in absolutely everything. You become an expert in the things that you really love and that you're passionate about. That's where you should put most of your time and energy. But you, as an entrepreneur or business owner, must become a generalist at multiple different areas, because that's what really helps you to drive the business forward. And plus, you can't measure and manage a marketing manager if you don't understand marketing. You can't measure and manage the sales performance of your business if you don't understand the sales performance of your business. Once you understand the principles, you then bring someone else in who can manage it for you. And this is a process I often take my coaching clients through is you have to first identify the vision. You then have to work out the marketing that helps you to achieve the vision. You then build the process and the system around the vision and the marketing, and then you bring people in to manage the process and the system, which then enables you to focus more on sales and drive the business forward. Then you can bring in more people, then you can improve the process and the systems, then you can do even more marketing, and then you review your vision. And once you've got those 5 areas really, really working, you move into business owner, where you now work more on the business. You think more transformationally instead of transactionally day to day. And if you've never been self-employed, how do you know how to be self-employed? There's a difference from being really good at your job to being an expert in your field. And that's really important to understand. If you've never run a 6-figure business, then you need someone who can potentially show you how to run a 6-figure business. There are people out there who build 6, 7, 8-figure businesses without a coach or a mentor. But I would actually think that no person is a one-person army. No person is an island. There is always a team. There's no I in team. You always have good influences. So if that has happened, then it could be very likely that they've had influence from people that they've recruited or employed. But as an owner of a business, leading a team of people, if you've never led a team of people before, then how are you going to know to do that? If you're an expert in the job that you do on a day-to-day basis, awesome. Doesn't mean you're going to be a good business owner or a good entrepreneur. Having coaching enables you to understand more about who you need to become. And the whole thing I love about business is the ability to level up. Because when you build your team, when you recruit more people than you've ever managed, when you've got departments, when you've hit a 7-figure and then pushing to go to 8 figures, it's about who you need to become in order to be able to achieve that. A coach can help you to realize those questions through clever questioning and to help you come to the realizations yourself. It's almost like a version of therapy in some respects. And I'm a qualified coach, performance coach, helping my clients actually do the things that they need to do, because procrastination and overwhelm can get in the way when you've got no experience or you're facing a new challenge that you've never faced before. A mentor is someone who can give you guidance, who's been there and done it. Maybe you're a 7-figure business in a specific industry and you know somebody who's an 8-figure business in a specific industry. You would have them as a mentor. They could be a really good mentor, but a horrendous coach. As a mentor, you can tell people very clearly what to do. Whereas a coach, it's more around asking the right questions. And I think in terms of your business growth, learning and development is vital, but also getting help when you really need it. actually gives you the fast track to more results. And then fast track makes your life easier. It means that you don't burn out. It means that you still manage to build a fun and profitable lifestyle business that enables you to do more of what you love with who you love. And everything is underpinned by who you are. So if you're worrying about getting to the next level, then you need to learn and develop. I learned and developed skills in marketing. I've learned and developed skills in leadership, but I still have people on my team who are much better at management than I am. It's a different skill to leadership. It's a different skill to driving the business forward. And the beauty of, I find for me personally, learning and developing is what keeps it entertaining. I've had a realization during becoming a qualified coach that actually I need to push myself every 2 years. I need to be learning a new skill. I need to be developing something new every 2 years. And I use my principle that I mentioned earlier. I understand what the vision is in terms of the new skill that I'm learning. I understand how to market that new skill if it relates to business. I then put a process in place. I then systemize it, and I bring people in to manage that system and that process. And then I'm able to go and focus on something new over the course of 2 years. There's an element of personal learning and development. There's an element of fitness and health learning and development. There's an element of business learning and development, marketing learning and development. So please don't underestimate the power of improving your own knowledge, having the right people around you, the right coaches and mentors. Value marketing in your business, because if you can market effectively, you can always build a more effective and more efficient business. And make sure that you bring the right people in for the right seats, and make sure that you clearly define the roles that you're going to be doing. Roles, responsibilities, key result areas, and income generating tasks. They are paramount to your success. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in for this week's episode. Really appreciate you, and have a fantastic day.